Hello and welcome to another episode of Podfulness. Let's get started.
I am not someone who criticizes with frequency, but I have to say, I find it a little bizarre that the default within Venmo is to allow everyone to see your spending activity. For those of you who don't know what Venmo is, it's a way for friends to share and receive cash from one another. I know, yet another password to memorize. Great. In other words, in case you didn't know this, if you pay someone with Venmo and you leave a little memo about what that was about, how much you spent and what you spent it on can be seen by everyone in your contacts, and even people who aren't in your contacts can see it. That is by default. So for this reason, I recommend you go into your Venmo app right now and make all transactions private. Otherwise, I can see everything that you are spending your money on. As a matter of fact, let's take time and go into my phone right now. I'm going to open Venmo real quick, and I'm going to see what my friends are spending their money on, right? So I see that right there. Megan got her nails done. That was $25. I hope they look great, Megan. I'm looking up Eric. Eric paid Rob $15, and there's a pizza emoji. So I'm guessing that was for his share of pizza. So if you're concerned at all about your privacy, maybe make sure your spending habits are locked and no one can see them. Otherwise, let me look at some more here. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed that $12 mocha, Kevin. And I hope you enjoyed your catch-up sesh with the girls, Alexandra. All right. Are you ready for another episode of Podfulness? Let's get to it. My guest today, his name is Leo. He's 15 years old. He plays sports. He spends time on his phone. He has a great support system in close friends and family. His happiness level out of 10 is a 5, which I think is on par with how most teens are. Heck, it's probably how most adults are. There are things that make you happy. There are things that make you sad, and we just have to plow through and try to find the good in life. Why am I trying to give you life lessons right now? You just want to meet Leo. So let's get to it. Here is my guest on this episode of Podfulness, Leo. Leo, welcome to Podfulness. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good. That's good. That's good to hear. I'm doing great, and I'm excited to talk to you. You're a brand new friend of mine. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Leo.
Um, well, I play a lot of sports.
Okay.
I enjoy reading. And I'm a sophomore in high school.
Sophomore in high school, and what's your favorite sport to play?
Soccer, definitely.
All right.
I've
Who's your
been
favorite team to follow? Professional
Ooh.
team.
I've been recently following the Bay Area has a new women's professional soccer team that I've been
Really?
following, Bay
Okay.
FC. So I'm excited for them to start playing.
Okay. Have you ever watched Welcome to Wrexham? I have to ask you. On
I
Hulu?
have not, but I've definitely heard of it and I want to watch it.
Man, if you are into football, you know that's how they say it overseas. I know you knew that. It's really a great show. And of course, you were probably a Ted Lasso fan.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. You also play lacrosse, right?
Yeah. I started playing last year.
How does one get into lacrosse? How do you think, you know what, I want to run around and get hit by sticks and get pummeled and try to shoot this little ball into a net? Like, how do you get into that?
So a bunch of kids on the soccer team play lacrosse as well. So since I knew them, it was kind of an easy pathway just into trying out this kind of weird sport I knew nothing about.
Right.
And it ended up being pretty fun. So
is it more exhilarating than soccer? Is it more tiring?
Definitely more tiring just because of all the gear and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they're just such different games that it's kind of hard to compare them.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of people don't know that don't play soccer is that it is a physical sport.
Yeah.
When you are watching, I mean, there's a lot of shoulder checks, there's slide tackles, like it can get pretty physical, but there's also a lot of flopping.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
but yeah, the physical aspect definitely carries over from the sports, although having like pads makes it easier in lacrosse to kind of go full on. But
a lot of people talk about how they play sports because it's a way for them to get out there frustrations, or it's a way for them to deal with their anxiety? Is sports that for you, or is it just recreational and fun?
I think I use it a lot to like escape from everything else, to kind of go out and kind of forget about, school and my homework, and just kind of have fun, um, and run around.
Which class takes up most of your attention when you say homework? Is it math?
No, actually, not math. Probably English or history. Annotating is not necessarily my favorite.
And I have to tell you that when I was your age, I don't even think the word annotated existed. Of course it did, but we didn't have to do a lot of that. We
Yeah,
certainly weren't allowed to highlight in our book because every year they had to reuse those books. But now you're highlighting, you're writing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot, and it takes maybe 20 times the amount of like time I need to read the book.
Do you
So,
sometimes think that your teacher and teachers in general are just over analyzing that maybe the author didn't mean for you to pick apart every single word and sentence?
yeah,
Yeah, I wondered
definitely a few
that.
times. Yeah.
I wondered that too. So what are some of your big challenges in high school?
Um, I think just being organized is pretty challenging. It took me a while to figure out a good system for keeping track of my homework and being able to stay on top of things. But I think I've got it pretty figured out now, except when it comes to studying. Still not very
Okay.
good at that.
Well, are you a procrastinator?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to procrastinate. There's a lot of, digital gadgets at the ready that attract your attention. So what is your system when you're keeping track of, because my son needs help with this too, of assignments and what work is due? Do you do it on your computer, on your phone? Do you write it down? What's your
So
system?
I use the Notes app, which is helpful because it's on my phone and my computer.
Right.
I can
And
kind
it
of check
updates
it,
in
yeah,
between, right? Yeah.
check and update it whenever I need.
And did anyone help you come to that, or did you come to that on your own, that system?
Lots of trial and error
Yeah.
have helped me figure it out.
Is it because your parents said, "Listen, Leo, you got to get your act together. We can't keep reminding you of things." Does that happen a lot?
No, mostly teachers saying that,
Uh-huh.
just forgetting things,
What is something that your parents are constantly telling you that you get, but yet they still tell you the same thing over and over again?
cleaning up stuff,
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm taking a
picking
look at
up.
that bedroom right now.
Mhm.
I'm thinking, I'm thinking, you could fold some of those blankets there on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the parent coming out of me. Anything else other than clean up your stuff?
Do homework, focus on your studies
Gotcha.
more. But
Gotcha. I know that part-time you work at an ice cream shop, right?
yes, yeah.
I've always thought it would be great to work at an ice cream place because people are coming in there in a good mood, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, do
It's
people get
awesome.
excited when they come in there?
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome to see like the little kids out for like an afternoon treat.
And
Um,
what is the little kids? What's their favorite ice cream? Is it still
there's,
Superman?
yeah, definitely.
And why is that? Is it just because it's colorful?
I think so. It was definitely my favorite. Although they changed the recipe, so it's a little less colorful now. But
Really?
mhm,
That was what the appeal
yeah.
was the color. Um, do you have regular customers that come in and you already know before they order what they
Um,
want?
I don't think I've worked enough yet
Okay.
to kind of figure that out. Although there are a few college students who come in like once every couple of weeks.
Uh-huh.
I see, and I'm like, oh, I recognize you. I
Yep.
remember you.
And you want the chocolate choo choo or whatever. What's the biggest selling flavor?
Yellow cake batter.
Yellow cake, really? For adults and
Especially
kids alike?
among mostly college students. They really love the yellow cake batter.
Hmm, interesting. Okay. So you work at an ice cream place. I also asked you in the little questionnaire what superpower you would want to have. Do you remember what you said?
Teleportation.
Talk to me about that.
I feel like I waste a lot of time, getting places, and I could sleep a lot more if I didn't have to drive to school, or um, or just kind of being able to get places without having to do all the work to get there.
Yeah. How amazing would summer travel be?
Yeah.
To skip the airports. Do you think though, if you had the power to teleport, that you'd be able to just hold on to someone and they could teleport with you, or would it just be you being able to travel through space and time?
I
These are
think
important questions.
if I got to, design the power myself, I would say I could like think of things I wanted to take with me and it would come with me.
You could take your whole family. Yeah, that'd be pretty spectacular. All right. So, Leo, I've got a hat here that has just a bunch of different questions in here. I'm just going to reach in. Nothing has been pre-planned or prepared. I'm just going to grab a piece of paper and read this question to you. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see how you answer this. If you could be any age for 1 week, what age would it be and what year would you choose to live in?
Oh, 22 in 2006.
2006. That was very specific. Why 2006?
One of my favorite video shows started, I believe, in 2006, maybe 2007. And
Okay. Is this a
being
YouTube show?
able- yeah,
Okay. Well, we can
being
talk about
able,
that in the next segment. What was that?
being able to be there for like the very start of it would be super cool. Kind of seeing.
Okay. See the origin story.
Mhm.
All right. Let's try another question here. What are you most grateful for?
My family and friends.
Yeah.
Feel like that's definitely the easiest for me, just because I have so many amazing like people I'm surrounded with,
Hmm.
who really just make every day so much better. And
What
like,
makes for a good friend?
um, I think someone who like I know I can always talk to or like I can laugh with. Those are like the
Yeah.
big things. Being able to be serious, but also like funny.
Yeah. That's important. And your mom and your dad, and you have siblings?
Yeah, I have one younger sister.
Yeah. What's your relationship like with her?
I think general sibling like
Yeah.
fights, but I really enjoy like spending time with her. And we'll do like little sibling days where we go out to brunch together, kind of and
That's
just
fun.
spend all day together. Yeah.
But no matter what, she's going to be there for you.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of makes it comfortable.
Mhm.
So, Leo, do you have any questions for me? This is your opportunity to ask me anything that you want about any subject. The floor is yours.
Um, what did you study in college?
Oh, interesting. Leo, the year was 19. I went to Indiana University and I wanted to be the next Jim Henson. Do you know who Jim Henson is? He's
The
the creator of the
name?
Muppets. He was part of
Oh
Sesame
yeah.
Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Crystal, the Fraggles. He had his hands on a lot of different creative projects, and I wanted to do that. So I wanted to get into children's television. And so, as dumb as this sounds, I studied TV. And so it's not just a matter of watching TV, which I did for some classes. I had a class. Are you familiar with Magnum PI?
I've definitely heard of it.
Okay, there's been a
Never
remake
watched it.
lately, but this was Tom Selleck's show, and he was a detective in Hawaii, and he drove a red Ferrari. I spent about a half a semester watching Magnum PIs and dissecting them and analyzing them. That's college. That's a college education right there. But I learned how to do video editing, and I took advertising classes. But I definitely wanted to work in TV and do kids TV, so that's what I studied. All right, good question. Leo, it's time we move on to our next segment where we talk about what you are streaming. Even though I want to talk about what you're streaming, I also want to talk about what you're reading because I know reading is important to you. So who are some of your favorite authors?
John Green definitely has been my favorite author for a long time now. Um, but I really enjoy Alice Oseman, the Heartstopper novels, and
Okay.
all of her other books as well are really good. I prefer to read not graphic novels, more
Okay.
word-filled books, but I think graphic novels definitely have their place and they're nice for a quick read. Hank Green also. The
Okay.
Green Brothers, I'm really big fans of, if you can
So
tell.
tell me about, so I know a lot about John. I don't know as
Mhm.
much about Hank. I know that they have a video series together, right?
Yeah.
But Hank is also an author?
Yes, he's written two. They're sort of like science fiction novels, but they're very different. I think to most books I've read, the first one focuses on a young woman who was like launched into the spotlight overnight, like gaining like fame, and it focuses a lot on like social media,
Okay.
which I find really interesting.
Hmm. So they're even though they write fiction, it feels real, right?
Yeah.
Because I know John Green writes about a lot of real things and just uses fictional
Mhm.
characters, probably pulled from his own life, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did the movies hold up? The movies, like Fault in Our Stars, was that as good as the book?
Not as good as the book, but really
Yeah,
good still.
but
I
really good.
haven't got to see as many of the movies as I want to. Um, but I did really like Paper Towns. I thought that movie was done really well.
Yeah,
And I'm excited for the Turtles All the Way Down movie that's coming
yeah,
out.
sure, sure. Yeah, I know when you filled out the questionnaire, you said that Spaceballs is one of your favorite movies.
Yeah,
Are we
definitely
talking
just like
about the Mel Brooks
yes,
Star Wars
yeah.
knockoff? What is it about Spaceballs?
Well, I've never seen Star Wars,
What?
or
Are
I've
you
watched like
kidding
one of
me?
the Star Wars movies, maybe one. Yeah, so I don't get maybe as many jokes as I could, but I just really love that kind of humor. Um, and it was like that first movie, kind of like that I really watched. So I
Right.
think it's just stuck with me.
I cannot believe you haven't seen Star Wars. Have you seen Mandalorian?
Nope.
Have you seen Clone Wars? You've seen nothing in the Star Wars universe?
Maybe the first movie, but that's it.
That is fascinating. Have you seen Avengers movies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Star Wars. I'm going to have to call both of your parents and let them know that this is a travesty and it's un-American. All right. So there's another TV show that you said, The Rain.
Yeah, so that was I watched it a while ago, and it ended up being canceled, but it's in Swedish, I think,
Okay.
and it's set in a dystopian world where there's like a poisonous rain that killed everything, and then it follows like these two young like siblings whose dad had like a part in creating it
Yeah.
as they like try and figure out like what happened. It's really interesting.
And was this on Netflix?
Yeah,
Yeah. And how many seasons was it?
two or three, I think.
And then it's Netflix has a proud tradition of canceling shows after like two or three seasons. I don't know how they gauge how many people are watching or not, but that's a bummer, right? It's one of your favorite shows,
Yeah,
and then it's gone. I watched a show called The Last Man on Earth with Will Forte, which I loved, and then it was a huge cliffhanger, and they never came back to let us know
no,
what happens. So I guess I have
yeah,
to use my own imagination. So are there any Swedish bands that you're into? No,
no,
I didn't think so.
no.
So you listen to Lovejoy, which I don't think I've ever heard of. What's Love? Who is Lovejoy?
They're a British band, actually. They're pretty new. I think maybe about a year and a half ago they
Yeah.
released their first song.
Yep.
Um, but it's kind of more of a indie rock band, and that's kind of the genre I
Okay.
guess I'm most into. So
Okay. I'll check them out. I like indie rock. And you have Weezer on your list too. It's talking about
yeah.
indie rock. And Foo Fighters. Is that because an influence from somebody older in your life, or did you just come to them on your own?
Um, Weezer kind of on my own. Foo Fighters was from my dad. It was the first kind of vinyl I got when I got my
Okay.
record player. So I kind of just listened to that until I was able to go and get some other vinyls. But then I went to a concert with Weezer and Foo Fighters
They
a
played
couple months
together?
ago. Hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Um, and so that kind of just further piqued my interest.
How do you compare how those bands sound in concert to how they sound on your record or when you stream their music?
So much better in concert.
So much better.
I think that goes for everything I've seen live. It's just better live.
Yeah, of course, that experience. And Dave Grohl is such a big personality too,
Yeah.
you know. So it's fun when they talk to the audience. You get to experience it more than just listen to it. Have you ever watched MTV? Is there any part of you or your generation that watches MTV?
I don't think I have, no. Not a
Have,
big live TV family.
no, but has anyone in your family, like aunts, uncles, parents, ever talked about what MTV meant to them and their generation?
Don't think so.
It was such a huge part of my teenage experience, and it's still around, but I don't even know if they play music anymore. I don't know what's going on with MTV. So it's curious. It doesn't sound like a lot of teenagers watch it, but it's definitely still. around. How's your phone usage? Are you on it all the time?
Um, More than my dad would like. I
Of
think
course.
I do a pretty good job of staying off it. But when it's like a lazy Saturday and I'm just sitting
Hmm.
around, probably gonna be on it.
So before we started recording this episode of Podfulness, were you on your phone? And what were you doing on your phone?
I was on my phone. I was, I believe, scrolling through Instagram.
Scrolling through. What is your favorite subject to follow on Instagram? Your favorite content?
Probably um information about like shows I'm watching.
This is pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else that you follow closely on Instagram?
No, not really.
Are you
And
following the Greens?
yes, I do.
Okay.
So I see that. But yeah, it's a lot of pop culture.
Yeah. So do you comment on a lot of these posts, or are you there just,
Yeah.
okay, not commenting, just being a little bit of a voyeur peering in? Do you
Yeah.
find though that when you follow John Green or Hank Green or any other celebrities, that when other people comment, do they comment back or no?
Sometimes I think at least on like the John and Hank Green's like YouTube videos, they'll
Hmm.
respond to a couple comments.
Okay.
Um,
And I imagine that would be a full-time job trying to
yeah.
respond to what everybody is saying. So you're watching them on YouTube. You also have some other people you follow on YouTube that I'm not familiar with at all. And is it Wendy Goon?
Yeah, so a bunch of the people I put down, I think, are generally more like short documentaries, I
Okay.
guess, about kind of random topics that just kind of come out of nowhere,
Yeah.
um, that are just really interesting watches.
Well, I saw that Wendy Goon had something about like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. And there's just interesting watches for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What was the YouTuber that you had mentioned earlier that you want to be there when it
Oh,
started?
that was Vlogbrothers.
Oh, that was the Vlogbrothers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you'd want to be there when it started. And who is Tom Scott? He's another YouTuber that you follow.
So he does more educational videos
Okay.
um, that kind of focus on more topics that pertain that would be like useful at some point other than like just random documentaries. But it's generally like 6 7 minute videos about like interesting places or like cool phenomena or like
And do you see
stuff.
any value of these videos being used in school? Like, could you see any of your teachers using these as part of the lesson?
um Maybe like one or two if it like was happened to be like something specific that
Yeah.
like pertained to physics, but otherwise probably not, no.
Right. Okay. So there's good stuff on YouTube. It's not just mindless
Yeah.
colors moving back and forth. And then you said your favorite non-social app is one that I use all the time too, New York Times Games,
Yeah.
right? So for those of you that are listening, you probably know Wordle. That's one of the games. But what are some other games that you're able to play on a daily basis through this app?
I usually play the mini crossword and connections and sometimes
Connections.
the spelling bee.
Oh,
If
spelling bee. All right. So I've heard about spelling bee. I haven't tried it yet because spelling is not my strength. But how does it work? There's, I think, what, 6 letters in a circle?
Yeah, so it's a letter is outside of the circle, and then you have one letter in the middle that all the words have to like have that letter, and you just try and build as many words as you can.
Is it timed?
Nope.
And are you able to see the correct answers or no?
The next day you can like see what the right answers were. You can like reveal answers.
Oh, it's an
But you just
exercise in patience.
yeah.
Your reward comes the next day. Have you ever gotten a perfect score?
Yes, once, I
And did you
believe.
screenshot that and share it with your friends
Probably
and
not.
family? That
Oh,
was a chance to show off how smart you are.
I didn't screenshot it, but I did text it. I have a group chat for the
Yeah.
New York Times games. We all send like our daily like our times on the mini or our like connections results to each other.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I sent it on that.
I like connections because it gives you 16 words and then you have to take the four words that have something in common and group them together, but they're always trying to trick you. They're always trying to trick, because, you know, in English, lots of words have different meanings. And so you can't move too quickly. Otherwise you get it incorrect. And you get 3 tries to get them all correct?
It's 4.
4. Yeah. So that's a fun one. All right. So thank you for sharing that with us. I want to play a game with you right now that I think you're going to get a kick out of. All right. One of my favorite games to play is 2 Lies and a Truth. And so we're going to play that right now, but this is 2 Lies and a Truth presidential edition.
Thoughtfulness.
So what I'm going to do is give you 3 facts about presidents, and you're going to have to tell me which is the truth, and then the other 2 are the lies.
Okay.
Are you ready to go? Do you think you know a lot about United States presidents?
No.
No. Then you're perfect for this game. All right, Leo, here we go. Theodore Roosevelt. Are you familiar with that name?
Yes.
Okay. He kept George Washington's wooden teeth on his bedside table. He had a lock of Abraham Lincoln's hair. Or he framed Aaron Burr's pistol, the one that he used to kill Alexander Hamilton, and hung it above his fireplace. So which of those is the truth? That he had Washington's teeth, he has a lock of Lincoln's hair, or he has Aaron Burr's pistol?
The lock of hair.
Lock of hair. Okay, we're going to come back and see if that's true or not. I'm going to write that down. All right. Question number 2 here is about Richard Nixon. You've heard that name before, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Here we go. Richard Nixon, his favorite snack was cottage cheese and ketchup. His favorite TV show was Star Trek, but when reporters would ask him about it, he always denied it. And his childhood stuffy, Go-Go the Moose, would join him on international trips. So which of those facts is actually true?
The stuffed animal one.
Go-Go the Moose. Okay. Question number 3 is about Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan wrote a poem from Michael Jackson's Pet Monkey. Okay, the monkey's name was Bubbles, by the way. Ronald Reagan wrote a song for his first wife, movie star Jane Wyman, and the song was titled You're More Than Baby to Me. Or Ronald Reagan wrote about Drew Barrymore in his diary.
I think he wrote the song for his wife.
Song for Jane Wyman. Okay, we will find out in a moment here. Let's talk about John Adams, shall we? Let's go back in time, use your teleportation machine and visit the late 1700s. Maybe it was early 1800s. I'll have to check that out. John Adams had a dog named Satan. Okay. John Adams had a cat named Lil Devil. John Adams had a parrot named Lucifer. Which of those statements is true?
I think it's the parrot.
The parrot. All right, writing that down. We're moving on to Bill Clinton.
Okay.
Bill Clinton's first job was delivering milk to grocery stores. His first job was selling comic books. His first job was governor of Arkansas.
Delivering milk.
Milk. All right, Leo. How do you think you're doing?
Not well.
No. And finally, Barack Obama. LeBron James gave Barack Obama a hot pink Nike tracksuit. David Beckham gave Barack Obama a pair of underwear. Tom Brady gave Barack Obama a Super Bowl ring made of plastic with the Bears team name on it, because the Patriots were so good and the Bears weren't. So it was a joke. So which of those is a true statement?
The last one, Tom Brady.
The last one, Tom Brady. Okay. Whew. Leo, it's not looking good for you. I will tell you that much. Okay, so question number 1. Theodore Roosevelt, the answer is true, that he had a lock of Abraham Lincoln's hair. During his inauguration, he wore a ring that contained a lock of Lincoln's hair in it. Kind of weird, kind of creepy, but congratulations, you got that one correct. Let's talk about Richard Nixon. You believe that he used to take his childhood stuffy, Go-Go the Moose, with him on international trips. That is not true. What was true is that his favorite snack was cottage cheese and ketchup. Something's wrong with that, right? Yeah. Okay. So you missed that one. Question number 3 was about Ronald Reagan, right? Now, Michael Jackson did have a pet monkey named Bubbles, but he did not write a poem for Bubbles. He also did not write a song for his wife, Jane Wyman, at the time. He instead wrote about Drew Barrymore in his diary. Do you know who Drew Barrymore is?
No.
She's an actress. She has a talk show on TV. She was also in the movie E.T. Did you ever see E.T.?
Yes.
She was Gertie. She was the little sister. And he wrote in his diary, October 17th, 1984, little Drew Barrymore, the child in E.T., was one of the children I met. She's a nice little person. That is what he wrote. So you got that one wrong. Okay, now we're talking about John Adams and his pets. You thought that he had a parrot named Lucifer. He did not. He actually had a dog named Satan. And his other dog was Juno. Yes, I would like to know that breed. I'm going to have to do some more research on that. So you got that one wrong. All right. Now we're going to talk about Bill Clinton. I think you thought his first job was delivering milk to grocery stores.
Yeah.
And then I threw in governor of Arkansas. He grew up very poor. So you know that was not his first job. His first job was actually selling comic books at the age of 13. And he made like $100, according to this article that I read. And finally, oh yeah, by the way, you got that one wrong, Leo.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, question number 6, Barack Obama, you think that Tom Brady gave him a plastic ring because I added some details about it later, which I did that just to throw you off. The truth is that David Beckham gave Barack Obama 50 pairs of boxer briefs. So, Leo, let's review how you did, okay? There were 6 questions, and you got the first one right and the rest incorrect. I'm worried that this is going to affect your self-esteem and how you feel about yourself. Do you think it's going to carry over after this moment?
Maybe a little going into finals.
Oh, no, it's right before
Not
your
so confident on my history final.
Oh, now I'm in your head. I'm so sorry. Well, Leo, thanks for coming on and humoring me. I hope this was worthwhile for you. Again, I think it's fun to get to know teenagers and for the audience to see that, you know what, the kids are all right. No, we're going to be okay. So thank you very much. Any last comments from you at all?
Nope.
The world is watching and listening now? Fair enough. You sound like my son. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to Podfulness. We'll have another episode for you next week. Until then, take care. And again, you have been watching and listening to
Podfulness.